my live stream. I'm still trying to find the actual system name of the second base camp.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, Nagi,
it wasn't pinned in the appropriate channel for some reason.
Yeah. Nice hanging out with everybody.
You can scroll up a few in information. It's not that
I'm
far
gonna
up.
head to Soul Park and make the jump tomorrow too.
Alright, okay. Found the system name.
I'm plotting my route way to the top of the galaxy and then kind of doing a angle.
Oh, the California nebula is kind of out of the way,
All
but
right.
it looks.
Everybody in my
that
stream
turnout
are
was
setting up
amazing,
to
huh?
raid Nagi. We got 20 people already.
It sure did start out slow, but that was really cool.
Yeah, I got 20 of 29. Come on.
Right, it's been posted.
I'm not gonna wait for this to count down the whole minute and a half, the 90 seconds.
Yeah,
it takes.
I was somewhere in the middle, so I got to see like two or three ships in front of me. It's so cool.
All right.
Do I have to do something for the raid? I'm just watching.
If you're in my stream, you'll just click on the raid button
me
and it'll
too.
join you. 21. I'm about to send 24 people over to you, Nagi.
Well, the box is checked. I think I'm raiding with.
All right, raiding now.
Take care.
Who was that just now? Your mic is like having a feedback.
Doc 7.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna turn your volume a bit down.
I've muted him, so I'm assuming I muted the right guy. 'Cause I didn't hear it.
You did.
I would do them now.
And for anybody else who's still on my stream,
Yeah, so far
That's
I
gonna
feel
be it for
comfortable
me.
with 6.
So-
It's gonna be a night.
If I find something higher, if I try it out or not.
Just gonna pull up my chat actually, so I can
Thank
see
you
stuff.
for being here on my stream. Thank you for watching
That
the
was a
launch
great
of the
jump.
Perseus Reach
Really
expedition, everyone. And
just-
I've been your host for it, Chenks Otome. And
Right.
I'll see you when I see you.
I'm gonna do a short buy break and then I actually do my jumping.
See ya. Take care.
Goodbye,
And also
Nagi.
put the base
All right.
camp into
See you
the
later.
squadron bookmarks.
And I'm also gonna leave the voice chat here, guys.
Alright, Chank, have a good one.
07, Commander.
See you later.
See you later.
Hey, buddy.
That stinks. It sounds like they were having a hard time in the PC as well. When I was listening to before the chat started.
Anyone in the voice chat? Do I have a little feedback on my mic or?
Oh. Trespass warning. I gotta pay attention more. Quest docking. How about now? There we go.
Okay.
Hello again, Nagi.
Alright, Nagi, I have to test this. Do I have a little feedback on my...
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's me, Howls. I'm really sorry. I don't know why, but my mic works fine with PS4. I don't know what the hell is doing about it.
Right. Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was.
So it's not Dog 7 who did that. Or he's muted.
No,
right?
it
Mute
was.
him then.
Oh well, I didn't do the high-pitched noise before because I only
Okay.
did push to talk. That couldn't have been me anyway.
Okay, I'll keep him muted then. Sorry, Doc.
So I'll leave the rest of Discord managing stuff to my to the rest of my staff now. Just gonna put the base camp into the squadron bookmarks and do some jumping then.
Ah, did he not get the memo when the launch was? I thought he was real clear about the launch time. Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Alright, so order
Time for the jump now?
I think I'll be leaving as well, the chat.
Okay, peace out.
Good evening.
Yeah. Woo! Cool. You're gonna be. I'm gonna be spoiled for anything else. Yeah. Hopefully it just gets better, right?
Frameshift drive charging.
I hope,
Wow,
yeah, I hope
Mirror,
that
that's
we can
nice.
start
300
base
light
camp. I
years
think it'll be
and
really
already
to get together
undiscovered terraformable.
away from the
That's
bubble.
really good.
Ah,
Wow.
so
Lucky.
excited.
4, 3,
You're both gonna. And you're both gonna be tomorrow pro for the night jump, right? Or for the. Yeah, I'll be here too.
Actually, I can't
Maybe I'll
add the
break some
actual
luck.
body of the base camp yet. I can only mark the system in the bookmarks because I haven't been there yet.
That's fine. We know what direction to go in, I
Yeah,
guess.
have a good
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna get off. Oh, it's yeah. I've got to fix dinner for the kids.
fuel scooping.
Yes.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, I don't have a good frame of reference, but I thought it was awesome. I can't wait to show my my brother's pictures. Yeah, look what we did.
Heading back into the
Yeah.
black again.
3, 2,
Oh boy, here I go scanning again.
Honk and scoop. Honk and scoop.
No, God, no. FSS everything.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, geez, no wonder you're poor. I mean, it's exploration. Like, what else are you gonna do? Just go A to B?
That's.
That sounds boring.
I mean, I need to get away
Wander around,
from.
check the system after at every stop, and see if
I need to
there's anything.
get away from populated space first,
frameshift drive
or discovered space. Or
Whatever. I'm just FSS. I'm not stopping to detailed surface scan anything that's already been touched.
yeah, exactly. I have 22 jumps to the first POI system.
3,
Well, I'm gonna start from there, I guess.
So actually, something that I've never actually been completely sure of. Does doing the mini game with the full system scanner actually get you additional credits?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good to
So
know.
here's the thing: if you're in an undiscovered system and you just honk and try to look at the system map, it won't show you shit.
Ah,
The
good,
system map only pops up with stuff that's already been scanned.
good to know.
Yeah. So if you're in undiscovered space and you hop into a system and you honk and it says, 24 bodies, and you look at your system map and it shows you a star, that's what's going on. Is you need to scan down all the signatures.
Frameshift drive.
And
Good to
don't
know,
be
I-
one of those. Don't be one of those clowns that only scans stuff in the frickin' Earth-like zone, because that's just, can't stand that.
This is my first time this will be my first time in undiscovered space. So
Okay.
3, 2,
Just like if you're gonna stop and use your full spectrum scanner, scan the whole damn system. Don't just do it to get your damn name on a undiscovered Earth-like or whatever. Because frankly, you'll make a lot more money by scanning each system you come across that you care to scan. Like what I'm doing is I turned off my frameshift drive booster, plotted my route, and then turned it back on again. So I'm not jumping as far as I could. I'm jumping about 10 light years shy of what I could be doing. Which means I'm passing through more systems, and I'm heading off in a random direction that's still sort of in the right direction.
Also, you're consuming less fuel on each jump.
Yeah, but I'm also limiting myself to KGB foam. But basically, I'm doing more jumps intentionally, but that means I'll pass through more systems, scan more things, make more money, and in the direction I'm going, there's nothing of interest, so there's probably a lot of undiscovered systems. If you're going to points of interest, you're never going to see anything undiscovered, or very rarely. But if you go somewhere where there's nothing interesting in that direction, you're going to find stuff.
yeah, I specifically turned off the KGB foam filter, and I'm watching the fuel gauge so that I get the T-Tower eyes and non-main sequence stuff that other explorers have probably skipped.
Oh, that can get you in trouble, so just be aware of that. Like, you can't
Oh, yeah,
find yourself
well, I
in a
know.
field of brown dwarves or something.
I know, I'm not letting it get below half.
Alright. Yeah, I guess that's just the big one, is keep your eye on it. But do you have a frameshift drive booster?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay, so that trick wouldn't help you with that, but, do you have any cargo capacity?
8 tons?
Or is there anything in it?
Nope.
So one trick you can do is when you're plotting your route, you can tell it to plot as if you have full cargo. And that won't reduce your jump range, your jump distance by much, but it'll save you more fuel than you think, because fuel use is non-linear.
I know. My side project right now is route plotter.
But yeah, so plot. Tell your map to replot as if you have full cargo, and you'll save a bunch of fuel that way. I'm not too worried about not hitting non-sequence stuff and like L's and M and Y's and things, because they just tend to have icy bodies, really. I mean, neutrons are a bit of an exception. White dwarves, I just don't even want to see. I'm afraid of them.
I think I'm gonna turn some stuff off because I'm running just a little bit hot.
By the way, what are neutron stars counted as on the star class list?
Non-main
And-
sequence.
Yeah, they're non-sequence. They're in the same class as black holes. And I have no problem with neutron stars, but white dwarfs give me the willies.
Completely understandably. My second jump was to a white dwarf, and I was like, I'm still so close to the bubble, I may as well try, and I just couldn't manage to or boost while staying comfortably far away from the exclusion zone. And then I was like, fuck it.
The classic case of nothing bad could happen, and the narrator says, something bad happened.
Literally, my first jump in ED was to a white dwarf.
Yeah, so the thing
Wow.
with white dwarves is they give you a shit for jump range boost, and they will just chew you up and spit you out and giggle about it. Like,
It is true. I know this from experience.
As a hull seal, I can't tell you how many code blacks we've had that ended in just death and destruction in a white dwarf's jet cone. But most of them.
Yeah, my first, or when I went through the white dwarf, it was before I knew about, or I had heard about the rats, but didn't realize that you guys were interested, or I didn't have anything worth keeping in my hold, and was still flying the stock siding.
So the rats are different from the hull seals. Just
Oh right, yeah.
I
I certainly didn't know about the seals.
Yeah, fuel rats do fuel, and hull seals do hull. It's kind of in the name.
Yeah, they seal holes.
Yes.
I'm getting off voice chat for now. See you later.
Have a good one. But yeah, hull seals, we have operating procedures for when someone blows out their canopy, because the only way to fix that is to dock and hit the repair button. And if you blow out your canopy 20,000 light years from the closest station, well, it gets sketchy. By the way,
sounds exhausting.
speaking of, what do you got for nickel and iron?
I'm loaded.
Good. What's your life support?
One short
Class D.
Oh, so you're If you're ever at all worried that you might be on a long trip away from a station and there's a possibility you might blow out your canopy, always fly with A-rated life support.
I have not yet blown out my canopy, so
There's a first time for everything, but
there is.
it doesn't often happen, but if you have a hard landing you can lose it, or if you're in a jet cone, sometimes if you have a hard drop, like, you know, say you're sleepy and you hit the exclusion zone of a star, or you make a couple of mistakes and they compound, you know.
Yeah.
It's certainly something that's very avoidable, but it's also something that mistakes can compound. And if you just have a string of incidents and you don't get it, you know, because you can repair a partial, like a damaged canopy with an AFMU, but once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, and I've got I think I've got an A-rated. Can't remember whether it's an A-rated or a B-rated AFMU, and plenty of math.
Yeah, so you're in a good position, but again, especially if you got a lot of iron and nickel, you're very rescuable in a code black scenario, as long as, like, if you're dropping a white dwarf cone or something, as long as you can get out of the cone or extricate yourself from direct danger with your blown canopy, we can probably get you home. Or at least to the nearest station, but it's a project.
Yeah.
I think, Nagi, do you remember the current record?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
What's the current distance record for a code black successful? Is it like 1,500 light, 15,000 light
It
years or
was
something?
60,000? I don't know. No, it was several tens of thousands. Because it was
Yeah, so-
somewhere in northern half.
We've basically proved we can do it at any distance. It's just a project.
Yeah, but just
How
take
long did
a
that
lot of
take you?
time.
Probably a week or two.
Yeah.
Especially if the client had it A-rated, it goes a lot quicker, and easier, less stress. Life support, yeah. Basically, if you have to resynth your life support every 6.5 minutes, it's a lot more stressful, and you have to stop more times to fill up on iron and nickel. But if you have it A-rated, it can go a lot more smoothly. Basically, the way it works is we have to mine stuff for people. Like, knock chunks off of rocks and they scoop them manually to fill them up when they run low on life support mats.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah.
Of course, with normal, just damaged hull, it's just easy. You just throw limpets at them and... Yeah.
Oh, good to know. Wondering if perhaps I should pop back to the bubble while I'm still close and upgrade my life support.
Oh, what are you flying ship-wise?
DBX?
Oh yeah, so it wouldn't be an issue. I mean, you'd lose a few light years, but you got, like, plenty of those anyways.
Yeah. I think I'm at 58 light years.
Yeah, you do.
Eh, may as well.
Yeah, it can't hurt, especially on a long trip like this.
Frameshift drive charging.
If nothing else, it's just a bit of peace of mind, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, no matter what happens, as long as I can drag myself out of whatever hellhole broke my canopy, I have at least 25 minutes of panicking. Which is, admittedly, a long time to be panicked.
This system is discovered. Yeah. Just kind of starting to wonder when I will see first. Actually, unexplored ones. Well, I guess
I haven't hit
still
anything
some.
unexplored yet.
Where are you headed for?
I'm headed to the top of the galaxy, halfway in between
Oh.
Sol and the waypoint 2.
Ah, okay.
Angling up, kind of.
So you're not going to the POIs?
No. There's nothing interesting in that direction, which is precisely why I headed that direction.
Frameshift drive charging.
I get you. I'm heading to, I don't actually know what exactly it is, but it's a bright star, I think, and yeah, let's see.
Just because, like, the farther you get from, like, interesting points, the more likely you are to hit unmapped stars.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, once we are, like, past waypoint 2, we just hit loads and loads and loads of...
We're close in, though, so I don't expect much. I mean, I was farther away earlier today at the Crystal Forest still.
Oh yeah, was actually a different region.
Yeah. No, I topped up all my G4 raws, so I got a shitload of G3 Jumponium.
I got a decent amount.
I got like 47 charges. Which is way more than I'll ever need.
I have 56 premium ones, which is more than I ever had.
It's one of these things where I'm gonna, stock up on a pile of them and then like use 3 maybe over the course of the expedition. And
It looks like I've got 81.
that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little tight, but I should be able to manage.
It should get you there and back again. A Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm sad to say that because of my
64?
sisters, I can quote just about the entirety of those 3 movies.
Yeah, 39 standard ones and 112 basic, so it's definitely enough. Even if I wanted to visit the northern meridian afterwards. 'Cause I haven't done that yet, I think.
I don't even know what that is. Is that the farthest?
On the, if you look at the galactic grid of coordinates and go along the zero lines, the furthest system out in each direction are the meridian systems.
What's the furthest system navigable to from Sag A Star? Does anyone
Oh,
know?
that's that is in the south. I've been there with my alt account. It's kind of finicky to get to. Like, that one's really weird to get to. I don't know what's it called from my head, but it's like if you go straight south from Seoul, when you will get to the southern meridian, and then like 10,000 light years to the east, that's where the furthest from Sag-A is.
Kind of cool. Was that found on Dead End Circumnavigation?
No, I don't think so.
Or was that just some like sweaty dude doing it by himself?
It's probably Alatnil. Oh, I got to the Stock 1 sector. It's an interesting sector name.
Frameshift drive charging.
I just found my first undiscovered system.
Nice.
Nice. And I get pinged and PM'd all the time.
That's weird. It's almost like you're running an expedition or something.
You're getting asked who is in charge of the next mass jump.
Nominate one of the people asking you and say, "You are, congratulations."
I mean, I'll take that.
What's
'Cause I was the one asking.
time-wise? So we had 19 UTC. We have the Xbox launch.
Well, right now it's 2100 UTC and
the
it's 4
next
PM for me.
Yeah, the next one would be the 2 AM UTC one. But that's Philanka's one, and as I did say, he had some unfortunate events in real life, so
Ah, shit crops up sometimes. The only thing I'm sad about on this expedition is that my fantastical paint job is going to be scruffy looking. Much as though I were a nerf herder.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, I think a lot of these planets ain't scanned. If the local body map is anything to go by. It seems to be.
So is the next mass jump in 4 hours?
Maybe 5 or 6.
or 6.
So right now it's 2100 in-game time and 4 PM my time. And you said he was planning for it to be 0200 UTC. Which
5
would
hours.
make it 5 hours from now, which would make it 9 PM EST.
I gotcha. Yep, I'm in the American time.
Yeah, which one? There's a few of them.
I mean, he technically doesn't have Central Standard, but I could do East.
Well, Central is just an hour behind, so it would be 8 PM your time.
Yes, that is correct.
MEST and the fantastic.
What's kind of
state
funny is that
tech.
the PlayStation instances look bigger than ours.
Because they borked ours.
No, they met up in a different system.
Oh, so that's how so it must be a Sol thing or something.
A soul thing, or either because we were too close to the planet. So yeah, we will definitely not be close to a planet next time, and then we should have a bigger one.
Yeah, we were pretty tucked right in there.
I know I've always had problem instancing in Soul.
Beefy gas giants.
Alright, Chocolatier's gonna head back and try to oversee a little bit of that second mass jump.
Alright. My sleep schedule's borked, so I'm probably going to be going to bed in a couple hours, because, you know, have to suffer somehow, right?
In a couple hours, that sounds good.
Well, I was up at like 1 AM this morning. Yeah. Like I said, my sleep schedule's borked. And I gotta fix it by Monday, otherwise I'm gonna be a very unhappy camper at my new job.
I have a friend who's got a schedule that's apparently
I actually
4
don't
days,
know yet. So right now I have like 2 weeks of school, and I don't know yet if I can actually go to school on Monday because we have a storm coming.
Oh, I'll tell you Tuesday afternoon whether you could go to school on Monday. I'm here for you, Nagi.
I think this system might be undiscovered. It's just honk. No, just one body. Must have missed the Kova saying stuff. Oh my god,
Yeah. I have my game volume turned way down, so I miss that all the time. Because one thing I like to do while exploring is listen to audiobooks.
Do you guys think I should wait for the West Coast meetup or just go to the second waypoint?
Were you just in the meetup we just did?
I was watching it, but I was getting drilled for fuel rats, so I couldn't join.
Well,
and also I need to get materials.
It's entirely up to you, but if you want to run around and get materials, then that's not a bad thing to do.
Chocolatier's heading back.
Okay.
Are you in the middle of any good one?
Say again?
Are you in the middle of any good audiobooks right now?
I just started listening to an audiobook on YouTube by Robert A. Heinlein called The Puppeteers, or The Puppet Master, something like that. Certainly not one of his well-known works, but it's seemingly interesting. I do like a lot of the stuff I've read of Heinlein, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
I wish that audiobooks worked for me. Unfortunately, I just can't remember things that I hear unless I actually read.
Everyone's different, but
It is true.
Yeah, I'm lucky I have a job, so I listen where I work.
Okay,
at,
that's
I
the
listen
target
to
system. Oh, it's a
8 hours.
planetary nebula with an A-class star in the center.
yeah, I just got a job at Home Depot and I start on Monday. But it's fine, it's probably gonna be more interesting than the last couple shitholes I worked at.
Do you have the do-it-yourself gene?
I'm afraid I do. Not only that, I think I have the mad scientist gene as well.
There's a saying in Belgium that every Fleming is born with a brick in their belly, meaning that everybody here just loves building stuff.
Oh yeah.
More people buy plots of land and build their own houses than buy pre-existing
What the
houses.
fuck? Where did Ted go?
I'm gonna put it this way. There is no universe in which I buy a pre-built house.
Have you considered moving to Belgium?
No, because I have ideas that are somewhat topical to various parts of the U.S. and depending on where I ultimately settle down, be that in like the Nevada kind of area or somewhere obscure like northern Michigan. I will build my house in a different way depending on that, but I have a lot of ideas of passive solar and passive geothermal and all sorts of things to keep the house from consuming energy as much as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are interested in that here, both in Belgium, or actually across Europe.
Oh yeah, Europe is kind of a pioneer in that stuff. They have all sorts of things like triple pane windows and those air exchange boxes that basically heat incoming air with outgoing air. And the idea is you make your house airtight, and then you need ventilation, like it's necessary. But you control the amount of air you move through the house, and you do it in such a way as you retain 80% of the heat in the air. And also filter it. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, and a lot of this stuff is being pioneered in Europe. But I have crazy ideas they'd never let through the cracks in Europe also, because I'm a nutcase.
I'm curious.
Building underground is one of them. It doesn't seem that crazy, but
there's a whole lot of stuff that you have to take account for.
Yeah, building codes seem to be a lot more strict in Europe, as far as I've been able to see. In the U.S., it's kind of dependent on the town you're in. It's kind of who's in charge of that.
Yeah, in most of the major cities, there's like too much old stuff where it could get compromised.
Okay, I kind of hate cities, so I'm not in danger of settling in one. Although I would probably be happy in the Reno area.
I've got friends in Reno. I've got a friend in New Hampshire as well who's really into the whole building his own place, and he's got a farm and
yeah, New Hampshire's kind of like that.
What's that?
I live in Massachusetts, and I lived in Maine a few years ago, and yeah, New Hampshire's kind of a wild place. It says "live free or die" on their license plates. That about says it all.
It's true. He's definitely got that attitude.
And yeah, they don't have taxes, they just have speeding tickets.
And terrible roads.
No, Massachusetts has worse roads, trust me.
I've driven in Massachusetts, and I've driven in New Hampshire, and let me tell you, the New Hampshire roads that I've seen have been worse. Although nothing compares to Romania, just gotta say.
For the most part, I gotta say, like, unless you're in some little tiny, like, town back road, like, as far as, like, larger state roads and stuff, New Hampshire's a lot better than Mass. Especially the Interstate 95, going up the coast. I used to work for a moving company out of Kittery, Maine, and I can tell you, you knew you were in Massachusetts because you're driving along and all of a sudden the interstate gets very, very bumpy and like, oh, it must be in Massachusetts. Sure enough, there's a sign, welcome to Massachusetts.
We've got that joke in Belgium that
Not even kidding.
in the UK you drive on the left. In Belgium you drive on what's left.
No, but not
what
only
I
do I have
didn't get
crazy ideas
about Belgian roads is that I noticed that the freeways were all lit up by lamps left and right, even if there's like no civilization around them. They're just all bright as day all the time.
It is true, and there's actually good reason for it. They use the lights to burn off excess power.
Huh. I guess they do have all those wind farms
Wow,
out in the,
what the hell?
North Sea, right?
You could just sell that to Germany. You think we'll get some power problems in the future because we're about to shut down the last nuclear power plants, and then we start shutting down the coal power plants as well, so we kind of need power?
Well, it's not so easy because there's like demand and supply, and if they don't line up, I mean, you got to.
But it did
So,
sound like that.
If you have a bunch of wind turbines out in the North Sea, and they're all cranking because the winds are blowing, and it's the middle of the night, like there's not as much demand for energy. But if you can't let those windmills freewheel, because if they freewheel, then they overspeed and go kerfuffle. Which is
right. Our problem is that the bulk of our power generation, I think, is nuclear, and you can't really spool that down.
Actually, they're actually easier to spool down, but they don't have a very fast reaction time.
Right. You can't spool them down quickly.
Well, they're more worried about spooling them up quickly. Because if they have a sudden spike in demand, and they're relying on nuclear, they can't spool that up to meet that spike. If they had a gas turbine plant, that would be easy to spool up, even as a temporary measure, or if they had a hydro storage facility, kind of like they do in Wales.
Yeah, hydro storage, yeah, that's what we are mostly using for spikes.
And no, hydro storage, if you had a big enough facility, could cover your spool up time for your nuclear plant, but it would have to be a pretty big facility depending on general demand for such a spike. Like if it's in the megawatt range, you might be hosed.
Wait, I didn't pay attention. Is that...
Yeah, it's
oh, it's an undiscovered system. Hey, hang on. Lots of gas giants here. It's 30 bodies, so it's quite a lot.
But personally, I'm a big fan of nuclear, and I think we need to have more of it in the States and feed the tree huggers a plate full of facts for breakfast one of these days.
I agree. Although it's funny to look at where all the nuclear plants are. Belgium has two of them. One of them is on the Dutch border, and one of them is on the French border.
The funny thing about nuclear radiation is that it's mostly harmful for humans and animals, but not so much for plants.
Actually, humans are among the most fragile animals when it comes to radiation. Like, if you look at Chernobyl area, there's parts of Chernobyl where plants are dead too, just because of the crazy
that one looks
madness
cool.
of that whole
Gas
incident.
water-based life, so we might actually find some biosites around this one. So let's see.
Yeah, like a lot of the wildlife in Chernobyl seems to be doing just fine. Like there's no rad stags running around.
Yep, exactly.
So people tend to be squishier than most other critters. Of course, they're having a big brain, I guess.
Yeah, and we've been engineering our environment for long enough that we don't actually need to be able to exist in a wide range of environments.
Well, it's not so much that; it's more that we did evolve to exist in a very, very narrow kind of microclimate in Africa, where we're hairless apes. Like, if it gets cold, we're useless unless we can wear somebody else's hide, which took quite a while for us to figure out, I would imagine. So like evolutionarily, we're kind of like a really weird case. Like if you look at the things that had to be in place for humans to evolve as we did, it's like we're a really, really niche species that is only successful because of our big brains.
Yeah.
And the fact that we evolved it to intelligence at all is just sort of a fluke anyways.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people wondering how that happened. And I still haven't heard. The most interesting explanation that I've seen is that we started
There's
competing.
quite a loud TV in the background somewhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I mean, we spend a fifth of our energy on running our brain. Whether we're smart or idiotic, we spend generally about a fifth of our energy that our body needs running our brain, which is huge. Like if you had 20% more energy for running every day, you'd be, you make Usain Bolt look slow and idiotic. You know?
Okay. Take
Yeah,
a closer look.
Well, we don't need it. We've got bicycles and cars.
Well, that's the thing is like the evolutionary niche we came out of is super narrow. Like we literally evolved in a place where we didn't have to wear clothes. We didn't have any pressing threat from predators. Probably due to the overabundance of easier prey or whatever. I don't know. It's like we had to be omnivores. We had to have a really shitty digestive system so we would figure out fire is good. You know, like.
Or we had a really bad digestive system because we found out about it.
No, because we've only had fire around for what, 200,000 years maybe?
I mean, that's still plenty of generations to modify.
Yeah, you're right. But we definitely had to have a less than really good digest. Like we weren't carnivores. Carnivores have no need for fire. In fact, they probably fear it because it's more harm than good kind of thing. But for us, fire was like, okay, we can make pointy sticks to help our weak noodle arms poke holes in our prey, and we can make those stay pointy for longer with fire. We can also make our meat tastier.
Oh my god, an expedition chat right now. Whitman.
What's he saying?
So Yannick asked him if he's doing the expedition drunk, and he answered, "No point in sobering up just cause I'm playing a video game."
He's not wrong. Besides, he just gives more business to the hull seals.
I like the Star Trek theory that all humanoid races in the galaxy evolved from one super civilization years before.
Yeah, it's possible. But how does that
Considering we
explain?
have ties to monkeys and stuff, but no yet known direct ancestors, it's kind of cool.
Well, it's been largely debunked, I think.
I mean, it probably is, but it's a nice thought anyways. At least that we come, like Stargate as well, that we come from some advanced race.
The biggest issue I have with that is the whole, like, DNA thing, and how we can directly look at other species in the animal kingdom in hell and, much greater things and say, hey, we have that same thing. Like the whole thing with vertebrates and having their heads on backwards. Because we actually do. That's the whole right brain, left brain thing, where your right brain controls your left half and your left brain controls your right half. Your head's on backwards.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, it looks like I get first mapping on this water world.
Frameshift drive charging.
I
Nice.
completely scanned that 30 body system I was in, but there was nothing interesting, sadly. That one gas giant with water-based life, that was kinda close to a star. Closer than every other body in the system was. It was nice looking, but that was about it.
Yeah, gas giants, you'd think they'd pay off more if they had water-based life, but they just don't.
No, it's not about the credits, because I heard that those are more likely to have moons with biosites, so I was just scanning all the moons, and I was also looking if I could perhaps find a shepherd moon or something.
Oh yeah.
Fuel scooping complete.
I've been
Oh
meaning to
god,
do
I'm
both.
starting to see the nebulae and also the siren.
Oh shit! I needed to.
There will be people
not to-
asking about that, I guarantee you. But I've been there on CCC4, so I don't need to go there again. Also streamed that bit.
I need to get off and talk to my future roommate.
Oh, okay.
Have fun.
Toodles.
Doodles.
But still, most systems here are already discovered, of course. I mean, the area is heavy with nebulae, so it's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's bubble local still. I mean, you're not gonna find much.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Hopefully by the time this expedition wraps up, I have a new computer.
Hmm.
3, 2,
I mean, from what I hear, a lot of the people in the department I'm going to be working at in my new job are morons and lazy. Which doesn't surprise me, because apparently it's stupid hard to get fired from that place.
fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, by the time our expedition ends, I will also finish my training, so that will be interesting.
Yeah.
I also don't know if I'm gonna be staying in the company and doing training in. I'll probably stay there at first and then like concentrate on searching another place.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive.
I mean, post-expedition, you're gonna stick around the Beagle Point area for a while?
Probably not because of fleet carrier, so most likely
Alright.
head back faster.
Tootle back expedition-y wise and
3, 2,
consort with Li Young Rui and
Yeah.
pay out. That's one of the reasons I'm scanning a lot, even though it's all discovered, is just fucking credits, man. I have 800 mil right now.
Oh, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but it's fuck. I can build
I have
plenty of ships out
I
of
have
that.
4.3 billion right now in balance.
I also was never really trying hard to get piles of credits, so
I was medium hard trying that.
Yeah, I never
So
went out
all
and
in
said I'm going to
preparation
avoid
for-
opal mining for 3 weeks straight and make billions.
Oh yeah, no, I only did a few mining sessions. So. And of course, Leonroy from Distant which was 3.1 billion, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty good chunk of
Yeah.
change.
So yeah, it's really all just for fleet carriers because we don't know yet how much we're gonna cost. Also, they said something about upkeep, so
That wouldn't surprise me, but that might also be in the form of taking a percentage of things you do.
it could be, yeah.
Kind of like
The crew members.
crew, yeah.
Frameshift drive charging.
But then again, it might not be just because it could be potentially such an expensive article to upkeep. That
I mean,
being
you
said,
you gotta finance it somehow when you park your carriers somewhere else in the galaxy that's not close to the bubble.
that being said, if it's going to come with a hefty price tag and a hefty upkeep, it's gotta come with an equally hefty increase in the potential for money making.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, you know, private jets. They're expensive as hell, but in the right, like, if you have a legitimate need for it, then you're legitimately going to be making more money than they cost just by getting them quicker.
Yeah.
Next fire group.
No.
Frameshift drive charging.
Fighting with voice attack here.
Next fire group. Next fire group.
It's getting boring.
Next fire group.
How many fire groups have you got?
Probably 2.
I only have 1.
Yeah, same. I just put my heatsink on the Q key.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had my heatsink on a key because I used to fire them by accident once over. I can't do that now.
I have mine on K because in German they are called Kühlkörper. And I actually assigned that button while I was still playing in German.
Frameshift drive charging.
That's fine. We forgive you. I used to hang out with this chick that told me that the German language got her horny for some reason. So I would just like say random German words at her all the time.
Fuel scooping.
No, this has some undiscovered bodies.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Ooh yeah. Let's get that asteroid belt out of the way first. Or not. Oh, it's a blue gas giant. Okay.
Fun.
Geological is highly likely. How does it actually show up when there's biological and geological likely? Does it even fit
I
on the
think you have
screen?
to scan it to see biosites.
Will it not say likely and unlikely and stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
It should, I think.
The only biosites I first discovered was the ones by Waypoint 4 at Distant Worlds 2 on that 4 point.
I never
Whatever.
discovered a biosite first.
Yeah, I found a high G planet. It was like 55 light years from Waypoint 4 on Distant Worlds 2. It was like a 4.5 G planet, and I was like, hey, this is cool. And I scanned it, and it had biosites, as pumpkins. It was a ringed landable with biosites and high G.
I mean, I did find a system that I didn't scan, but was scanned by Chank, and he found a lot of biosites in there.
Typical Chank.
I think I'm gonna stop after this system because I'm getting tired.
Oddly, I'm not getting tired. Maybe it was the coffee I had at lunch.
But I think I got up a little too early.
I know I got up a little bit too early.
System scan complete.
Okay, that is an interesting orbit of that second star.
I mean, you can edit a scan now, can you, if it's on geological? What's the name comes up? If you don't want to see what's actually on it, geological wise.
I did not understand that. I don't know if it's...
Sorry, you're breaking up there.
Yeah, something fierce.
Oh, they actually first discovered but not mapped. Why did they not show up on my map then? It's kind of weird. So where's with... oh. Yeah. Nothing too interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here now. Actually, I'm gonna check how many arcs I've got now. What's this? Oh no. No group join requests. Just 26. Oh, it's not too much. Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching my stream. I can try finding someone to raid, I guess. So I'm not really used to this. Is there... It's not really displaying me any good channel right now. It's just like only like big YouTubers or big streamers. Right. I need to open another window on Twitch somehow.
Yeah, undiscovered system. Noise. Doesn't look like too much.
So I can actually see who else is streaming Elite. Oh, brother Sabathos. Yeah, right. There we go.
Yourselves, and be well. See you later.
Oh no, he just signed off. He just ended the stream.
Rip.
I think, yeah, he tried getting collector rank over on AXI, which involves 2 manning a Hydra. Oh, this guy here is live, and he's getting raided by him as well, so we can just take him.
Double raid?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Make his day. Well, I didn't get the star, but I got all the planets. That's fun.
Alright, here we go. It should happen now.